On today's episode of WatchJRGo, my application for why I should be the one to buy the Lamborghini Gallardo for $35,000. What is going on, guys? I am WatchJRGo, and today we are here in my shop to talk about the Lamborghini Gallardo, which is something I think I might have been the first person to ask about buying. When Ed initially listed all of his cars for sale, I hit him up immediately and I said, what's the cheapest Lamborghini in the nation? And he was like, this is it. This is a Gallardo for 35 grand. And I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with it yet, but I might sell it to you. That's not what happened. Of course, you guys have seen the videos so far. Ed bought the car, brought it home, and now he's been driving it around. It looks like a nice, reliable LP Gallardo. And I mean, what a great car. We should ruin one, right? Everybody wants to see one of those get ruined. So this is my application for the Gallardo. I want to buy it, bring it home, and the first thing we're gonna do with it is a cannonball run. We need to take it, actually we might just take it straight from Atlanta up to Red Ball Garage and make the run to Portofino and show you guys how fast you can make it in a normal Lamborghini Gallardo. It's a stock Lamborghini, right? I mean, we've put tons and tons and tons of miles on Huracans. I put plenty of miles on a Gallardo. I'm incredibly familiar with the platform. I know it inside and out. If there's one person that will build this car and actually make this happen, it's me. So we'll take it in its stock form drivetrain, which is incredibly reliable, being a V10, drive it from New York to LA, and then we will bring it here. And while we're talking about the cannonball run, I'd like to show you guys my car trek Audi S4. It's getting a little bit of work done to it right now. And it's the most boring color that a car could ever be. And I think maybe we should wrap that Lamborghini. Obviously it's been spray painted matte orange. If we wrapped it silver, there's nothing more boring than that. We'd probably never get seen or noticed, and it would make for a very easy cannonball run. But here is my example for why I will be able to execute on the plan, which I'm about to show you. I rebuilt my twin turbo Audi R8 in my garage at home. It now runs and drives, has no check engine lights. It's a twin turbo car, a monumental undertaking. And they're the same car underneath. Like, the bones of these things are the same. I know it very, very well. And this is what I want to do. We'll finish the cannonball run. We'll get the car home. We will pull out that V10 drivetrain and take a Tesla drivetrain and swap it in, making the first EV Lamborghini, as far as I know. I don't think there's any others, but obviously you guys know Lamborghini's been saying they're going to do this for a long time. The Aventador is going to be the last of their actual supercar range. The Huracan will be probably the last of the naturally aspirated V10 based sports car range, and they are going to go EV soon. I think we can beat them at their own game, and hopefully you guys want to join me in that journey. We'll grab a Tesla drivetrain, maybe the batteries. We got to see how everything's going to fit, but there's tons of room in the front, tons of unused space in the front. The radiators are already split in the things. There's two of them, one on each side, so we can cool all the electronics. I think this will work out very well. I think we could build a super nice, well-packaged EV Gallardo and do the cannonball run again. So we can drive it back up to Red Ball Garage and back down to Redondo Beach. And with that, we'll have a comparison of the times one V10 stock Lamborghini Gallardo and one EV swapped Tesla drivetrain Gallardo. And there's plenty of EV records right now. We've got a lot of videos about them at the moment. So I think it would be really a huge thing to have kind of a crazy EV swap actually make the run. So hopefully you guys want to see something like that. I'd love to hear your input. Obviously, this is my application for the actual car as well. You have to win the contest of everybody making videos to decide who gets it. So hopefully this is the winner. So VinWiki and Sway, I hope this one pulls at your heartstrings. I know you love Lamborghinis. I think we all love Lamborghinis, and I think we all love EVs and the sheer power and just how insanely fast they can be. But the weird thing here is, you know, the EV endurance thing. We'll have to stop and charge for long periods of time. There's no supercharging once you put that drivetrain in a different car, so we'll be sitting around a lot. We're still going to try to make good time if we do this. If we get the car, knock the swap out, and get to make a really cool cannonball run with the car. As you guys know, I'm no stranger to EV drivetrains. With a fleet of EV scooters, a boosted board, and if we're being serious, obviously I had a Chevy Volt for years. I love that thing, and it will be no problem to make this electric drivetrain happen. Also, we have plenty of other cool electric cars around here, like my scissor lift. And we have an electric drift trike and the electric drift floor cleaner. So plenty of cool toys we get to play with all the time, but no electric cars at the moment. It'd be a really cool build. And I think something we could all participate in and bounce ideas back and forth as we build the car and kind of decide what direction we're going with different features. So help me out. Hopefully this helps you out. You get to watch this crazy build. Like this video, share this video. Let's get some traction on it. I think we can win this contest with enough momentum. Again, huge thank you to VinWiki, Sway, and Avalon King, the sponsor of the Detail Bay. Hit the link in the description below to get yourself a discount on some Avalon King for your car at home. And all right, guys, it doesn't take me that long to say I'd like to buy a Lamborghini and drive it across the country and then swap it to an EV, put the Lambo engine in something else and drive the EV across the country. So we're gonna have to fix something today, obviously. I have here the new key for my Volvo XC90. Well, obviously that's the old one. You can see it is destroyed. An absolute wreck of a key, like nothing's left of it. The key blade flops around. Here we have a new key for the Volvo, and the key blade works properly. Okay, well, it is like the cheapest replacement. It works. Let me downgrade properly to a works. Okay, here we have, grab a couple extra tools, maybe a razor blade. Haven't taken one of these apart in a long time, but there's a little nib right there, and it does exactly what I would expect. It looks like you need a Torx driver. Pop this one open. This one did come with that new screw there. Don't break my X-Acto blade. Okay, so there's a screw hole right there, and in the original one that is installed. I do need to go grab a tiny little Torx bit, unless, let's see what we have in here. It looks like in here we have a T20 and, oh, maybe a 15. Yeah, that's smaller than that. That is tiny, tiny. All right, how does this come apart? Ah, the screw lets you slide the head apart. So once you take that off, you can slide these in half. The key head just comes off like that. And technically we could just swap these, but I think I'm still gonna have to take the key head apart. Oh yeah, we're gonna have to take everything apart. There we go. Heard the spring release there for the key blade. So what makes it flip? That's what, well, actually we just need to put the old key blade into this housing here. Turns out I had it right beside me. Here is our tiny little Torx driver. So this should slide apart now. Instead the whole thing fell apart, which is pretty much as expected. Wow, the button's been wet. There's hair inside. This is just gross. Just gross. All right, well the front of this isn't broken. And if I can use it, this one says Volvo and this one doesn't. And I would much prefer to have a key that says Volvo, because then it looks stock. So let's see what I can do. I think before we do any prying, we might have to do a little cutting. Sometimes you gotta cut these keys apart, because they glue them. Don't cut your fingers. It's my only advice. All right, I ruined the old housing just there. Kind of as expected. You'll never guess what key has a transponder in it. Oh yeah, it's this one. It is this one. So I have my workbench all set up with my vise here. We're gonna try to pry it apart instead of cutting. That worked pretty dang well, better than everybody else that's had to cut into these things over the years. You can see the transponders in a glass pill right there. Little RFID tag, copper wire, all that good stuff. It's gonna take a bit to dig this out. The new one has a nice little holder where that transponder clips in. We got the key blade out, so we can start putting all that back together, scrap all this trash. What broke on this one? Oh, that one's new. Oh, yep. Here's the blades that make the key flip backwards and forwards. This is plastic, apparently. It sounds metal, but it must be plastic. Oh, there's some black in there. I don't know. Either way, it wore out, it broke. Very, very weak. We'll just get in there and start removing material around it. There it goes. We have the transponder. Here's what makes your Volvo run. Good stuff. Alright, so it has to go like this. I want the antenna facing the key blade. The antenna is that little tiny copper coil. And that means... yeah, that's the other side. Okay, so the transponder needs to drop in here. And it actually is press fit, so I'm not even going to mess with gluing it back in. I don't see any way. It's pretty hard to seat that in there. I might put one dab of glue on there. There's the transponder reinstalled. Hopefully you guys can see that. And now we're ready to start reassembling the key blade setup. The key blade setup goes like a somebody. Just in case, one drop. Just found out a fun fact. This thing is actually keyed, so you have to twist it and lock it to make sure the key flips open like it's supposed to. And you have to twist it the right way. This is a pretty big job. Let's see, how many twists does it get to lock it in here? All right, to make sure the key flips in and out right, make sure you wind this correctly, and you'll probably have to figure that out on your own. Let's see. Key needs to flip that way. And it's keyed, so it has 2 twists in it. What I ended up doing to make this work was putting the release in first, putting the key on that, and then holding it all kind of, putting the back on, getting the spring in there into its notch, giving it a one, full turn like that direction. It's really like a 180, but a full turn, and then pushing it together. And now she flips. This has to be one of the most complex key rebuilds in history here. All right, so I pried this open. You can see it's a little marred up where I put the screwdriver right there and there because it seems like the strongest point of the key. Took the thing apart. This remote lived a hard life. All right. Since that's true, since the buttons are literally falling off of the thing, but they still work, I think we're just gonna go like that. All right, there it goes. I used this big screwdriver. There's a really thin part of this plastic that you need to actually make sure it works, so. Seems like everything should be good. The buttons sound better now. I mean, this is about 1,000,000 times better than it was, I gotta say. And this old one had definitely been washed. One of those wash-up keys. Okay. Battery goes in like so. All right, and there's a seal on this key that you need to take. The new key didn't come with a new O-ring, so the new O-ring is being transferred over. Get it setting in there. Hopefully that prevents it from failing when it gets washed the next time. Keys. Mostly designed so you can wash them. Oop, battery fell out. Okay, here's our Torx. Here's our Torx. Screw this thing together, and now we should be ready to snap this together, and we have a completed key. Look at that. Rebuilt Volvo key. Okay, this is a nightmare, but you can probably do it in 15 minutes. You can hear all the switches. The light up switch is pretty toast, but I do know all the buttons work, so. Key flips, key rebuild. Thanks for watching. This is the 3D printer lab where I pretty much only make toys. Pretty cool though. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to head on over to shop.watchjrgo.com for cool shirts just like this. And please like, share, subscribe, do whatever you want to do. And I will talk to you next time. Hey, we will have a lot of VinWiki stories to tell after going on a cannonball run and it probably being a disaster. Maybe, maybe not. And then ripping that thing apart and putting an EV drivetrain in it, and then doing another cannonball run, which will probably really be a disaster, and then it'll just be, all over the place, all the shows and all that fun stuff. So this could be a really, really fun journey.